Welcome to Mac Nirvana, your path to digital harmony. Last time we talked Mac, we defined the layout of the Mac workspace. We identified the menu bar, the desktop, and the dock. Today we're going to look at the dock in greater detail. Let's do a quick review. This is the dock down here. As I stated in the last Mac video, the dock is a place to store or dock applications, files, folders, and windows. Your Mac started up with the dock looking something like this. Today I'm going to show you what the dock can do and how to customize it to suit your needs. The dock is divided by this line. Applications are to the left and everything else goes to the right. We're going to start on the left. To launch or start an application from the dock, place your cursor on the application icon and click it once with your mouse or trackpad. See it bouncing? This is the computer's way of telling us that it's received our command and it's working on it. It's really important to point out that while I can launch apps from the dock, the apps are not stored within the dock. These are shortcuts, or aliases as we like to call them on the Mac. Now watch this. I can click and drag Calendar out of the dock, and it disappears in a puff. Uh-oh. Now I've done it. I deleted Calendar, right? Well, no. Because it's a shortcut, Calendar actually lives on another part of the computer. I'm going to do this quick at first, and then more slowly so you can see exactly what I'm doing. A few clicks, a drag, I have Calendar back on my dock. Let me review that. First, I click the icon I like to call the Mac smiley face. Its actual name is the Finder. When I click the Finder icon, I get a Finder window. Finder is the way we look at the structure of files and folders within our computer. From my Finder window, I single-click the icon titled Applications here in the left-hand column. The Finder then takes me to the folder where all my apps are stored. Here, I scroll and I find Calendar. See, here it is. I didn't delete anything. The app's safe and sound. Then, I clicked and dragged it to the dock. Notice all the other apps moved out of the way to make room for Calendar. The app is back in the dock, but it also remains in the Applications folder. That's because it lives in the Applications folder. What we've done here is add a shortcut within our dock. Think of it like a remote starter for your car. You can be in one part of your house while starting your car that's out in the driveway. All of this is designed to allow you to customize the dock to suit your needs. You can remove the apps that you don't use very often without deleting anything, and put all your important apps one click away. As an example, if you never use Notes, it's probably not worth storing in your dock. But maybe you check your email every day. Then Mail is well worth having in your dock. This puts it one click away at all times. There are some specifics that I need to point out here to guide you around some common pitfalls when learning to use the dock. First, when I remove an app from the dock, I clicked and dragged it fairly quickly. If you click and hold too long without dragging, the computer thinks you're doing something else entirely. So you get a pop-up menu. Be sure to drag within a second of clicking. If you're online or mountain lion, you may have to drag pretty far to get an app to disappear in the puff of smoke. This is an extra cushion that Apple has programmed into these versions of the Mac to help prevent the accidental removal of apps from the dock. Second, when adding an app to the dock, if you drag and drop one app onto another, the computer thinks you're trying to open one with the other. Dragging iPhoto on top of iTunes confuses the computer, since one app is for storing photos and the other handles music and videos. The computer tries to obey, finds that it can't, and it just doesn't do anything. Be sure the other apps move out of the way before releasing your click. Notice here that I have the app icon touching the dock, but the other app icons haven't moved. And now they move. This is because the computer only watches the arrow, not the app icon. As soon as I put the cursor arrow into the dock, the other app icons move out of the way to make room. Now I can release my click. Third, notice that if I go to my Applications folder and launch an app that isn't in the dock, it appears in the dock. When I quit that application, it disappears from the dock on its own. This is because the dock also lets us know which apps are running. Every running application must appear in the dock, whether it has a shortcut in the dock or not. Last thing to note about apps in the dock. While we could add all of our apps to the dock gets really small. It might seem like a good idea to have all your apps in the dock, but if you're like most of us, you only use a handful of your apps, so cluttering up your dock with apps that you don't use isn't helpful. Now let's look at the right side of the dock. While the left side of the dock is all about apps, the right side of the dock is a mix of a few different things. Your Mac started with a few folders in the dock, including documents and downloads. Like apps, these are shortcuts. If we single-click them, they spring open to show us the contents of that folder. Just like an app, I can remove and add folders to the dock. I'll remove the Downloads folder. Remember, removing something from the dock does not delete it from the computer. If I look in a Finder window, like we did for applications, I can see here in the left-hand column that my Downloads folder is also listed. Click and drag Downloads back into the dock. There it is. Any folder can be added to the dock. You can also add individual documents to the dock if you need them a single click away. The next thing the dock holds are windows themselves. If I go up into the left-hand corner of this Finder window and click the yellow button, watch what happens to the window. It shrinks down into the dock. I can do this with any window. Go to the dock, click that window once, and it opens up right back where it was. This allows us to have numerous windows and documents waiting in the wings, ready at a moment's notice, without having to clutter up the desktop. Did anybody else wonder what that pop-up business was about? By clicking and holding an icon, we get other options besides launching an app and opening a folder. We can get an option to quit an app, and apps, folders, and windows give us other options. As an example, Pages allows me to see the documents that I have open now, as well as those that I have worked on in the last few days. Lastly, let's look at some of the other settings. Move your cursor to the Apple logo in the upper left-hand corner and click on it with your mouse or trackpad. The Apple menu drops down. We see that the fifth item listed is the dock. Move your cursor down the list, and when you highlight dock, another menu pops up. Here we see settings for the dock. We can choose to hide the dock when it's not in use. With this setting on, note that the dock now disappears off the screen. When I move my cursor down to the bottom edge of my screen, the dock pops up. When I move my cursor somewhere else on the screen, the dock hides again. The next setting is magnification on. With this setting, the icons in the dock get bigger when I move my cursor over them, making them much easier to read. The next three settings are related to where you would like the dock to reside on your screen. Left side, right side, or bottom. This last one opens up the dock preferences. We see all the same settings we saw in the menu with the addition of some others. Here we see we can control the size of the dock. We can make it really small, although that makes it hard to see anything. Magnification would certainly come in handy here. Another trick for resizing the dock is the line itself. When I put my cursor right on the line, notice the cursor changes from a single arrowhead to a double-headed arrow. When I click and drag on the line, the dock gets bigger and smaller. Our next setting is minimize windows using, and we've got a little pop-up menu here. This selects which type of animation you'd like the Mac to use when sending a window down to the dock. The next setting is double-click a window's title bar. This refers to the ability to double-click the top edge of any window to minimize it down to the dock. This would be an alternative method to clicking the yellow button. Minimize windows into an application icon. This prevents a minimized window from going into the right-hand side of the dock. Rather, the window will go into the application icon to which that window belongs. Animate opening applications is the bounce that I pointed out earlier. Automatically hide and show dock, we saw a few minutes ago. This last one, show indicator lights for open applications. Notice in the dock the apps that I have running have tiny little glowing dots under them. This lets me know which apps I currently have open. There are three things that cannot be altered in the dock. The first is the dock is always on. Whether it's hidden or not, it's always there. You can't turn it off. Second, the trash can must remain in the dock. It can't be moved to another location. Third, the Finder is always on and in the dock. This is because Finder is always running. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to see our files in our hard drive. So, my friends, that's the dock. Let's recap. The dock is divided into two parts. Apps to the left, folders, files, and trash to the right. You can remove things from the dock, but doing so does not delete them from the computer. If something does go missing from your dock, stay calm. It's still on your computer. We just need to use Finder to look for it. If you would like to continue growing in knowledge and confidence with your Mac or other Apple products, please email MacNirvana at info@macnirvana.com. We provide individualized training both in person and live over the web. We also offer group and business training, as well as consulting. Visit us on the web at www.macnirvana.com for more details. For Mac Nirvana LLC, this is Rob, wishing you happy computing, and may your dock be neat and helpful.